Kia ora, Dydh, Daph and hello. My name's Tessa and I'm your Cornish Kiwi Coach. Today I'm going to talk about how to communicate like a leader. So here are my top tips. Tip number 1. Who are we targeting our communication at, and are they the right audience? We can find ourselves in situations where we tell our friends, our family, our colleagues or even our neighbour of a situation before we share it with the person who would benefit from hearing it the most. If we open up the dialogue, we can give people the opportunity to share information that we may not have first been aware of. This helps us see it from another perspective, which can also help us understand the situation better. Tip number 2. How are we delivering our communication, and is it the right method? We live in a technology-driven world, but this isn't always the best method to use when delivering key information. Email and text messages can find us toing and fro-ing forward and back for long periods of time. With no visual cue to body language or tone or context, our messages can get lost or misunderstood. It can be useful to evaluate whether our message will be better delivered face-to-face, where we can make a connection, read body language, and interpret visual cues to help us navigate the conversation and avoid misunderstandings. This is so that we can deliver information in a sensitive way. Tip number 3. Why are we providing this feedback? Have they actually asked for it? Will it be beneficial for them to hear? What place are we coming from when we are giving it? And raise your hands if you've received out of the blue feedback that wasn't asked for, that sounded mean or was uncalled for. Chances are this was an emotional reaction rather than a thought-out response to a situation that needed to be addressed, discussed, or shared. When we provide feedback, we want the other person to feel empowered, as we are ultimately sharing our knowledge in a way that helps people develop, grow, and learn in some way. Before giving feedback, we should consider whether they asked for it, whether they are ready to hear it, and whether it is beneficial. Workplaces provide different feedback opportunities than situations with friends and family, but the same applies. Feedback should add value, come from a place of kindness, respect and care, and should be constructive. Tip number 4. What is our key message? Do we provide positive feedback, or do we just focus on the negatives? When we deliver negative feedback, it can sound like criticism, which can lead us to receive a defensive reaction. When communicating negative feedback, it can be helpful to focus on the solution rather than the problem. It can also be important to recognise the person's strengths or positives in the situation, so that we aren't just honing in on the negative. By providing praise and being appreciative, we may even find ourselves without the need to provide negative feedback to begin with. Tip number 5. What is our body language saying? Some of the most powerful messages are sent non-verbally. Have you ever seen eyebrows raised or stone cold looks, folded arms being directed your way? How did it make you feel? Chances are it put you on edge a little, or you may have felt a vibe that wasn't nice. Swap that with warmth, understanding and a generous spirit. How's that image coming up for you now? When we deliver feedback, it is helpful to come from a place of rationality and calm, where empathy and understanding and care is present. However, no one is perfect, and mistakes are a normal part of life. It's how we learn and grow as a person. Tip number 6. Is this the right time to be delivering the feedback? Has the issue just occurred? Is the receiver in the right headspace to receive it, or has too much time passed? This of course depends on the situation and is something to be mindful of, so that we can try to read the situation. Providing feedback shortly after something has occurred is beneficial, as it's still fresh and relevant, but if the situation is emotionally sparked, then space may be needed for individuals to be calm and have time to reflect before they respond. We don't have control of other people's behavioural reaction, but we can all be mindful of how we are showing up in the world, how we are delivering our messages, and how people are reacting to us, and whether a few tweaks to our personal leadership style can be made. What's your personal communication style? Are you communicating like a leader? If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel to be kept up to date with new content. Thanks for watching.